What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Ray Allen Tech. We are back again. I hope that everyone's doing well. For today, we have the final assignment of the CYB 525 course. In this assignment, we are talking about the security architecture design. So, this is a lot of fun, kind of breaking it down step by step. Sit back, enjoy, and let's get into the content. First, we have the network architecture diagram of what I created. I was able to create it using one of the free-form flowchart tools. I was using draw.io, pretty helpful in terms of creating it. So I can break it down for you. So this is how I would break down an enterprise network. And based off of everything, you'll kind of see why the arrows are going which area. First things first, we have the internet connection, which is started over there. That internet connection connects to a router, and there's a secondary router as well. Usually, the secondary router is known for the Wi-Fi. The main router is like the one which is powering the actual network. From there, we see not only do we put it into one firewall, but we split it into two. The reason for that is being able to share the load on the firewall. You're able to have double encryption, which is able to at least help flow and navigate the traffic which goes in and out. Connected to the router are four separate switches, which the switches are connected to each other as well, and that means that they're connected to the router. And so what these switches are known to do is that these are pretty much like these um, almost think of it as like a traffic light in a sense, where it's able to help filter the traffic which goes in, filter the traffic which goes out. And so it kind of like communicates between the both of them. And so it gives you more control of how to pretty much do it. So the next thing we can do is kind of break it down from left to right in terms of like the terminology and everything. First things first, we'll start with an IDS, which is the intrusion detection system, which is connected to the secondary switch. Usually what's good about an intrusion detection system is if you see that any vulnerabilities or malware may be present or actually active, then you can use this detection system to help pretty much detect it, and pretty much that would lead on to the secondary system, which is connected to another separate switch, which is the intrusion prevention system. So once you catch a vulnerability, you can detect it, then you use the intrusion prevention system to help safeguard and pretty much create like a castle-like type of architecture for your network. And so it works really well. And so it's pretty good seeing how those two work coherently together. Lastly, we see that I have a DMZ, which is a demilitarized zone. Usually this is used by the military, but what it is it's on its own separate switch, and it's able to still run and conduct different types of like server maintenance and different types of patching, as well as like attacking at the same time. So the next thing I'll break down are the servers. We have the three separate servers, which are the email server, the DHCP, and the proxy server. These are all connected to the same exact switch, and so we can see that a lot of departments, especially like the IT department, would have a lot of these types of switches and servers connected to each other because they work coherently together. So if someone was needing to get information off of like a client, or maybe like a sensitive like information being spread across different types of emails within the corporation, you would make sure that the server itself is secure, and only certain people would have access and privilege to that server at the same time. And so it works pretty well. Lastly, we'll break down the different departments which we have here. Each of the departments have 5 clients each. You can see within the actual parentheses. First, the client is human resources, HR. HR is connected to the third switch. For finance and accounting, they're connected to the second. IT is connected to the fourth. Customer service support is connected to the fifth. And lastly, the R&D, research and development, we see that it's air gapped. And so what an air gap is you're able to pretty much segment a network or like kind of like a department where they'll be able to still exist, but without using any of like the type of operations. So let's say in R&D, if they didn't want any of their information to be public or onto the actual cloud, then they may be able to like possibly air gap that result at the same time, or department. So here are the results of my GVM scan, the Greenbone vulnerability scan. Again, I was having difficulties with pretty much getting access into it. Usually, what you do for the actual scan is you conduct the scan from Kali Linux. But the issue, which I was still having consistently within the actual course, was signing into the actual scan. I downloaded it. I downloaded all packages. Unfortunately, the scan wasn't able to pop up as well as even give me access back into the system. So that's why it's currently not there. Next, security issues and implications that could occur. Number one, even though like that this network diagram is very detailed, different issues could pop up. One is data leakage. We do know that data leakage is one of the common reasons how companies not only lose money but have a tarnished reputation and also lose valuable resources. And so, in order to make sure that a database is secure, you have to make sure that you not only build the network, you build the actual infrastructure of the company as well. And so, that's one of the reasons why data leakage is a security issue, which needs to be addressed at all times. Number two is a phishing attack. So, based off of the article from Damage 2006, lack of computer systems knowledge. Many users lack the underlying knowledge of how operating systems, applications, and emails and the web work, and how distinguishing among these phishing sites exploit these lack of knowledge in several ways. For an example, some users do not understand the meaning of the syntax, domain names, and cannot distinguish legitimate versus fraudulent URLs. Big, pretty much reference there, but what it's saying is that if you have two different phishing emails, or you have an email which looks like it's legit, and you have an email which is not legit, but it also looks like it could be. That's an example of like a phishing attack. So what that can happen is you click on the link, then from there you accidentally enter in sensitive information, or you download something onto your computer, and boom, someone can gain access into your system, as well as like possibly do a data leak. Number three is based off of that, you have malware and ransomware, which could occur. So pretty much what those are known for are being two different types of like bad actors, where they could not only freeze the system but also demand that a ransom must be paid in order to unlock the system. So it would pretty much encrypt it, and then you would have to pay for a decryption key. So definitely that's a security issue which can occur within an enterprise company. So you got to be on the lookout for that. Number four, as I mentioned, were phishing attacks. Again, phishing attacks are very important. We see that like one of the main things which we need to have are better security awareness trainings, especially within these companies, because at least having, let's say, an example like an HR has a test where they're able to send out conducted phishing emails, and if the actual employee gets phished, then it takes them to a link of the training. So that's an example of like an ethical type of phishing, which you can use to help like increase and boost security overall. Number five, denial of service attacks, known as DDoS. A distributed denial of service attack is designed to overwhelm victims with traffic and prevent their network resources from working correctly for the legitimate clients. DDoS attacks require a significant amount of bandwidth to successfully attack a big adversary, such as a web based media company, so that they often command thousands of hosts in a botnet simultaneously send traffic to a victim. This action has the effect of aggregating bandwidth to match or surpass the victim's network resources, as well as make it the specific host filtering difficult, since the attack is coming from so many places at once. That's from Nazaro 2008. That's pretty cool. DDoS attacks, well, it's not really cool if it's happening to you, but it's a pretty cool feature. What a DDoS attack could do is it could flood a network, where let's say if you're trying to gain access to like a site, like an enterprise site where you have like shopping and you have customers and you have actual database. What a DDoS attack can do is it can flood the network where users cannot be able to like get into the actual network or application itself. And what that could do is that could pretty much just change a lot of things. And it can not only just slow down the amount of money which is being made, it could also slow down production. It can also cause more maintenance. It can create more security issues. And so this is why it's very important to understand that DDoS attacks definitely are really big types of vulnerabilities and implications that could occur within an actual enterprise network. So you have to be on the lookout for this and use like the best mitigation like tactics and techniques in order just to secure that this doesn't happen. Lastly, here are the references of what I have. I have Damaja and Nazaro, both amazing, great resources and super helpful. Well, that's the end of my video for the security architecture design. I'm very happy for this course. Super helpful. Thanks to Professor Montgomery just for not only just giving good insight, good advice, but at the same time, just teaching us about these different tools which you can use. So that's the end of my presentation, you guys. This is Rayo and Tech. I hope that everyone's having a blessed week. Stay amazing. And yeah, more videos to come.